Alright, this ought to be a short one. This is something very, very different from the previous game we played, that being Karoshi. It still has adverts for Entropia, apparently. Is this... Are these adverts, like, generated... Like... Is this advert space that just has new things put in it, even to this day, or is that, like, hard-coded into the game? I don't know. I don't think these have web access. I think you have to activate web access in Ruffle, and I haven't done that. Script Welder. This guy has made a few games that I don't remember any specifically of. But I remember seeing their name every now and then. So, this is a very odd little game that... It's one of those things where I played it once, I remembered it for many years, for literally over a decade, and I can never remember what it was called, because A Small Talk at the Back of Beyond is a kind of a mouthful of a name that is hard to remember, even now. But it's very brief. It's just a fun little story experience thing. It's in a similar vein to some other things that I'll play. Although the other things that I'll play that are in a similar vein to this are actually both by some other developer and a singular specific developer who made a couple things I find interesting. This game is mostly, if not entirely, I think, typing in the bottom left. There are a few ways this game can go. I'll probably only show one. If you want to see others, you can go play the game yourself. It's still on Congregate, I believe. Oh no. Okay, we can still mostly see that. It might not expect to be at this resolution or something. Again, playing stuff on Ruffle, it's a little weird. Maybe I should be playing this on the Flash debugger that I have instead to make sure fewer of these things happen. Okay. Hey, let me read. Prolonged hibernation. I actually don't remember everything about this. I haven't replayed this game in like 10 years, so I don't remember the details of the script or whatever. I do think there are a few ways the story can go, but I don't remember all the details. Memory will eventually return. Do you know where you are? I don't know if it's going to get confused. And this is basically text adventure text, so I don't know if it's going to get confused by me. Oh. They just answered. Because I was being too slow. Look, man, I can only type so quickly, and plus I'm talking to other people that you don't know about. We're placed in a secure underground shelter after the world was destroyed in a nuclear conflict, or probably not after, during, whatever, before. Hibernating, waiting for our times. You may ask any questions you have. That's a lot of questions. A lot of questions one could think. But, like, too many for... It's like question choice paralysis. I don't know how... I don't remember precisely if it's intelligent about... I don't remember how intelligent it is about you trying to say things. It's not like text adventure, like perform action stuff. Like it's supposed to be kind of like a conversation. Yeah, apologies for the scrolling not working quite right, but it always works again after they... Should look around. Can try to look around. I'm guessing there are keywords, and if you just mention certain things, it prompts the computer to say certain things. You're underground. There cannot be any escape pods. Well, that's why I'm asking. Why does it say escape pod? I don't know if being too fancy with quotes one I might confuse it or not. We'll see. Again, I don't remember the details. I don't remember what you have to do to actually make anything or another thing happen. Quotes didn't seem to confuse it earlier, so I'll just... It's that thing on the left. I think... Does that say food right there? Just make sure you guys can see what I'm pointing at right. Yeah. AGS stands for Artificial Gravity System. Why is there any talk about gravity here? A rich collection of beautiful, interesting photos. Sphinx, Giza, Dubai skyline. Interesting is a good word for a lot of those, at least. My keyboard is giving me trouble. And this AI is too impatient with me trying to think up responses. Me and my big mouth. The truth is... Oh. Okay, well, it's actively typing, the scrolling's messed up, so... I need to wait. I need to finish typing. Oh, hello. Stop writing anymore. There's no denying. I'm sorry. The truth is, you're not a shelter. There's no war. You're on a spaceship. Travel between worlds. Explore distant solar system. Navigation system malfunction. Now the ship is entering the corona of a red giant, which I guess we can now see outside that window. Destruction is imminent and will happen within a few hours. Question that first comes to mind. We have an, I think, AI that can apparently lie to us. Oh boy, they have a lot to say to that. Oh. Okay, I think they kind of ignored what I just said. Two options. I think there are more than two ways this can end, but we're now explicitly provided with two. Or faced with two. Oh, so that's the food there, I guess. Food, water, and oxygen supplies. Survival at 3.7%. Another option of you to stay here with me, which I ask you... I can't read that last little bit. I almost want to think of like some filler thing to say. Just to... which I ask you for. Just so I could see what that last line was, because I couldn't read it very well. Apparently this is what happens to understand what you just said. And honestly, 3.7 is pretty high. I still can't tell if this is actually a person or not. If I remember correctly, there was another game by the same developer that also mentioned, or there was another game that referenced to this game in an interesting way, but I won't specify the details of that. Long duties, automated coordinator. AI, yes. Designed to maintain this place during hibernation period. Honestly, that's an unusually long time. I feel like that's actually a lot longer than it should be. I think realistically it'd be a lot smaller. And you think of like, if you ever heard of the details of like, not to dwell on this too much, but like a submarine. If the hull is breached, anything inside is going to die a lot faster than 0.02 seconds. You'd be astounded how quickly that happens. So we have an AI asking us not to leave because they don't want us to lie with them. And we have, I don't think I can scroll back up. What, like 3.7% chance of living? So you have some chance of... Honestly, 3.7 is higher than I would expect. I feel like at 3.7 is actually, like, kind of hard to say no to. Irrespective of anything else. So I never clearly, like, broadly explored the sorts of things this computer will say to you, so... Let's try to ask the hard questions. I doubt they'll have... answers. I imagine different people get fixated on different things here. Like, it might seem silly to some that I'm getting fixated on the 3.7%, but as all things go, that sounds very high. Yes, and probably die alone. It's die for sure, but not alone. I don't know what more to say at this point. If it was a smaller chance, I wouldn't. I might not be so compelled, but like I just don't know how to say no to a like basically 1 in 25 or something chance of survival. Even if I'm not happy to leave the AI here if they don't like being left here. Like, that's not even specific to the AI. I feel like part of the question here is stuff like, oh, hey, do you have to take the concerns of this AI into consideration? But even if this was a human, I feel like it would be better for one of the two to have a well, not decent, but very non-zero chance of surviving as opposed to both dying, even though it would still be unpleasant for one of them, sure. I guess if you don't survive in the escape pod, you'd probably die much less pleasantly. So there's a probable, very unpleasant starvation death. I mean, I never have starved, but it's probably not very pleasant, I think. Or a much less unpleasant death here. But yeah, it's silly of me, but I feel like I'm getting fixated on this one detail, but I don't think... I can think of a train of thought that leads to me deciding to stay. It's funny. I knew that this question came up, but I didn't actually think ahead of time what I would think about it. But I think this is what I go with. There's something I was thinking to say. Oh. For some reason, this is a weird thing to get reminded of. I'm reminded of a long time ago. I got... This is going to sound weird, but playing a couple of Hot Wheels games, specifically Velocity X, specifically for the Game Boy version, that one had a lot of focus on the robot characters, whereas the console version didn't. And for some reason I got really fixated on a couple of the robot characters, specifically one that was just like a little drone, which wasn't even a character, but I made them into one because I thought that was funny and cute. So you'd think I'd have some more sympathy here, but it's not that I don't have sympathy, it's just that, like, irrespective of whether I have sympathy for the AI, I don't have an easy time saying no. I won't go. Sorry, AI. And sorry, keyboard. I'm not sorry for you, keyboard. You should be sorry for me having to use you, because you don't work very well. But as I was saying, if you want to see how many other places this conversation can go, because I think there are a few, I do invite you to play this game yourself. I managed to eventually find this game, I think the same way I originally found it, retracing my steps. Oh. Let's actually say yes after they say that. I'm being too complicated. But I found this, I think it was, I've managed to retrace my steps to how I think I originally found this. There were two other games I originally found before this, which again, touch some similar subject matter, both by the same author. I don't know if I'll play them next, or if I'll play something lighter after this. But I think, this was on Congregate this time, not on Armor Games. But, which I never spent much time on. But I think there was a, I think that those games were tagged with philosophical, and I think I looked through that and ended up finding this game in the philosophical section. I think that was how I originally found this. That's how I, trying to retrace those steps, was how I managed to find this again just a few days ago, after 10 years of not knowing what this game was even called. But I remember the game so clearly, just talking to the AI on this terminal here, and then the window opening on the right and so on. Okay, but that's the ending we'll get. Oh, I apologize you didn't get to see the last bit of dialogue there. There are also some fun questions this brings, like it talks about dying alone so much. There's the AI pleading that they don't want to, but there's also the question, does it make a difference to you if your company is an AI? And so on. It's fun. Yes, very small, very short game. How much time did I even spend on this? That was a whole 15 minutes somehow. I managed to stretch that out like crazy. Thank you, Kevin MacLeod, for being the music of, like, all of the internet for such a long time, by the way. I've also used Kevin MacLeod's music before. Only once, I think. It was Monkeys Spending Monkeys. It's funny when you recognize a song by Kevin MacLeod, too, like Clenched Teeth, Monkeys Spending Monkeys. It was like, oh, hey, it's that song. Weird connection. But yes, tons of fantastic royalty-free music. Such a wonderful thing that did for the internet. But anyhow, I'm curious what the differences were between the different versions of this game, too, now that this says 1.08. Anyhow, hopefully I'll remember to put a link to this in the description or something, but even if I don't, you can look this up pretty easily. I think you can find it on Congregate. A little tough to download for yourself if you don't spend like 10 minutes figuring out how the JavaScript works and so on, but it can be done. And that's what I did. I downloaded the game for myself from Congregate. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this odd little adventure with me, something very different than what I usually do, but I do that like most of the time these days, so I don't think I even have a norm anymore. So, again, I'll have some lighter fare, some other stuff soon, some things are longer maybe. If anyone wants me to play GMTBO2 stuff, someone say it and I probably will. Otherwise I might not. But there are two other games similar to the vein of this one, a little longer than this one though, by a different author, that I also remember a lot and liked a lot. They're two very different games too. Very different gameplay from each other too, despite being, at least in my mind, sibling games. I don't know if that's actually correct. I don't know if the developer ever said that, but they are in my mind. I'll explain why when we get to that. But I look forward to that if you like this in any capacity. In any case, see you then, everyone, and I apologize too for the weird aspect ratio of this video too. It's a strange experience trying to go back to these old Flash games. Anyhow, see ya.